This is the Weekly Digest, a government information agency program that keeps you informed on what the administration has been doing that will create a better environment for citizens. I encourage you to stay tuned. In this week's presentation for the period May 23 to 29, 2015, 4 new towns are to be established. Sugar industry to get assistance from Cuban government. Main health institution in Region 3 to be upgraded, and education system to see major overhaul. In response to problems such as the high level of illiteracy, the large number of school dropouts, and the falling standard of the University of Guyana, a newly appointed Minister of Education, Dr. Rupert Roopnarine, has signaled his intention to completely overhaul the education system.
We are not satisfied with the way in which the literacy in the country is going. We are very unhappy about the large number of dropouts from the system. It is not working when you're losing 7,000 people who are not completing school. It's not working if people are coming out of school not being able to read and write competently. It's not working if the standards at the university are constantly falling. These are things we need to address. And we have to begin, I think, to do a thoroughgoing analysis and understanding of what has gone wrong in the education system. And we have to begin at the beginning.
Going forward, the education minister said that absolutely everything will be looked at, from the curriculum to the textbooks that are being used in the classroom.
I want to begin to look, even at the early childhood education, because, the mistakes we make when they're very small and very young are the mistakes that we come to regret when they're much older. So we want to see the educational system of the child. The process of educating the child is beginning from really right down at the bottom when the child is very small, all the way to tertiary. It's one long process. We have to deal with it systematically, and we have to ensure that at every step of the way the student is better and better prepared.
The education minister is looking at the establishment of the various departments, meeting with different heads, interviewing persons, and trying to get practitioners who are experienced in all these areas of operations to make their contributions to the process.
You're busy at work. You don't look how long you have to wait to see me. Okay, so we are very busy, and I don't anticipate that we are talking about months and months and months of study. We need action, and we need action soon. But we don't want to act rashly. We want to act rationally. We want to act in a way that is, in effect, guided by evidence, by real data.
Preparations are underway for the budget of the Ministry of Communities. This ministry covers 4 major areas, which are water, housing, local government, and regional development, making it one of the largest ministries of the coalition government.
Minister of Communities Ronald Balkan has stated that budget preparations are on the way for his ministry. He noted that the permanent secretary is looking at the manifesto presented by the coalition government. He said that the new finance minister and his assistants are working towards preparing the 2015 national budget.
There's really a mire and a maze out there, and it is going to impact on the timeliness of the ability of the Ministry of Finance to be able to craft this complex document, as you said, to deal with all of the 10 regions. But it is a work in progress. The permanent secretary and the officials within the soon-to-be created new ministry are looking at the priorities, are looking at the manifesto commitments, and will shortly make submissions to the Ministry of Finance, hopefully that there will be sufficient funding to deliver on the commitments and the pledges and promises that have been made by the leadership of the coalition.
Minister Balkan also pointed to the call for a tripartite budget preparation committee, which would make it easier for national and regional budgets to be prepared. He noted that President David Granger had made the call for such a committee in 2014.
Cuba has committed to help salvage Guyana's sugar industry as discussions between the two countries are ongoing in this regard.
Discussions between Guyana's new Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu and Cuban Vice President of the Council of Ministers and the Minister of Sugar and Agriculture, Ulysses Rosales del Toro, have borne fruit as the two countries are now looking at ways of salvaging the local sugar industry. This discussion was as a result of a courtesy call paid on the Prime Minister by the Cuban Vice President on May 26. Other areas of interest were also discussed, primarily in the field of agriculture. Guyana and Cuba have been known for sharing strong bonds for decades, and according to the Prime Minister, this bond will continue to be strengthened under his administration.
The national awards are back after a 4-year gap, with 53 being announced on Independence Day 2015. Among those honors were 1 group and 4 posthumous awards.
The awards were announced during the inauguration of the president at the Guyana National Stadium on Independence Day 2015. The awards were led by the Order of Roraima Awards, which went to Hamilton Green, Mayor of Georgetown, Sister Mary Noel Maniz, AA, and Brynmore Pollard, CCH.
For long and outstanding service in the public sector, in the field of politics and in business. Ivor Island, businessman, contractor. For long dedicated service to the indigenous peoples of Guyana. Jean Sharon Atkinson, President, Amerindian People's Association. For long dedicated service in the maritime sector. Basil Brentford Blackman, former Coast Guard officer of Guyana Defense Force.
The Cacique's Crown of Honor was gained by 9 persons, with Enid Baino and Oscar Clark heading the list. They were followed by Yvonne Haywood Ben and Llewellyn John, among others, who included Protocol Advisor to the Ministry of the Presidency, Vivekanand Prasad. The Golden Arrow of Achievement saw 19 persons, 1 group, and 2 posthumous awards being given out. The posthumous awards went to Olga Bone and Wordsworth McAndrew.
For long dedicated service of an exceptionally high standard in the public service, the foreign service, and to the presidency. Eshwar Vivekanand Prasad, AA, Protocol Advisor, Ministry of the Presidency.
The Medal of Service went to 9 persons, with 1 posthumous award, which went to Bernal Lancelot Thomas, better known as Aku, former Vice Chairman of Region 10. The Military Service Star went to Brigadier Mark Phillips, with the medal going to 2 persons and the Discipline Service Award to 6 persons.
Guyana and the United States of America are to strengthen their relationship and collaborate on various areas for the betterment of the people of both countries. The Charge d'Affaires of the United States Embassy in Guyana, Brian Hunt, recently met with Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu, during which discussions were held on several means of strengthening bilateral relations between the two countries and collaborating in key areas for their betterment. Hunt believes that there are great opportunities for the countries to strengthen their relationship and continue to move forward, especially in some specific areas.
I wanted to take the opportunity to call on the Prime Minister as soon as possible so that we could begin talking about the bilateral relationship between the United States and Guyana and what we can do to continue to move it forward to the next level. I think there's tremendous opportunity both in the economic sphere and in the government-to-government cooperation sphere and development to find new ways and new models that we can support the vision that Prime Minister Nagamutu and President Granger have laid out for their government.
He added that it is clear that the vision that the new administration shares is very close to that of the USA for Guyana.
They've been very clear that what they want to see is a professional civil service, a country that is focused upon national unity, building bridges, and taking all Guyanese forward. And that's a vision that the United States unquestionably shares with them, and we very much hope that we can be a part of that vision and support it in trying to move the nation forward to the next level.
Prime Minister Nagamutu welcomed the call from the Charge d'Affaires and extended his hands in agreement to work with the U.S. to improve the quality of services in Guyana and achieve the desired results.
I wish to reaffirm our close and fraternal bonds with the government and the people of the United States, and we look forward to their continuing assistance in a variety, many areas that they have been helping us to help us in this transition
Some of the areas to be addressed under this partnership are the professionalization of the media and the public service in order to eliminate any traces of discrimination, bias, and unfairness with regards to the public service employees and jobs generally. Health services provided to the citizens of Region 3 will be greatly improved as the West Demerara Regional Hospital is set to receive a major upgrade under the new coalition government.
The West Demerara Regional Hospital serves as the referral hospital in Region 3, offering medical services to thousands of people residing on the West Coast, West Bank, as well as the Essequibo Islands, including Leg 1 and Wakenham. These services include X-ray, orthopedics, dentistry, eye care, pediatric care, NCDs, among others. However, while the West Demerara Hospital offers similar services to the country's main referral hospital, the Georgetown Public Hospital, there is need for some additional services.
West Demerara Hospital really should be a hospital of a quality not too different from that of the Georgetown Hospital. But no doubt more funds, more resources need to be made available to this hospital. I would like to commend the staff. They seem to be, in one unit, know exactly what they want. They know the limitation, that they are conscious of the challenges, and they give me the impression that they want to overcome those challenges. But like so many other areas that affects the health system in general, the on and off availability of drugs, of medical equipment, of materials, it is plaguing this hospital. The shortages of catheters, of proper sutures, of some essential medication, it's happening all around. I get the impression that while the authorities are conscious of this, the staff that is, they are also willing to do the necessary things to correct the situation.
Minister of Public Health, Dr. George Norton, who recently visited the regional hospital to have a first-hand look at the facility and what it has to offer, promised that the new A Partnership for National Unity Alliance for Change government will ensure key services such as a 24-hour theatre are put in place shortly. The staff of the hospital was also applauded for their hard work and dedication, and especially for the hygiene of the entire facility. He assured them that all their concerns will be looked at immediately.
They've got some high points in the hygiene of the wards. I think, the beds are well kept. We see the maternity unit with postnatal cases, mothers looking at their babies. We see the prenatal, and so on. While it is always a better situation to have patients in an air-conditioned unit and so on, and we might not be able to do that. The ventilation is a problem here, and we might have to live with that for some time. I am particularly concerned, however, with the infantile maternal unit. They need more space. They need to be a better construction in place.
Minister Norton has been visiting hospitals and health centres countrywide to assess what needs to be improved on.
The new Ministry of Social Protection plans to tackle several social issues, with trafficking in persons being among those at the top of the agenda.
Minister of Social Protection Valda Lawrence, during her first meeting with members of her staff, pointed out several areas of focus for the ministry. One of the issues is trafficking in persons.
This is one of the issues that our country have been placed on the international scene about. And it's not a beautiful thing, it's an ugly thing. And so we will be dependent on you, we will be working with you to ensure that we utilize your skills and whatever other skills we may need to clear our name as a country.
Minister Lawrence acknowledged that this could not be done overnight, but she noted that working with staff would help the government deal with it.
You're a pivotal element because there is this scourge that has attached itself to our society. And you and I and all of us will be working to remove that. We're going to be the Ministry of Excellence. You think we can do that? Yes. Good. All right.
She also pointed out that problems affecting the staff would be addressed. She urged the staff members to be a part of the procedure and help the ministry to do its work effectively in order to provide a good level of service to citizens.
The extractive sector has seen several overseas companies investing. Canadian company Guyana Goldfields Inc. is one such company. It is set to officially begin gold production by August.
Canadian-based gold firm Guyana Goldfields Incorporated has announced that it is on track of starting up its Aurora Region 7 Cuyuni-Mazuruni gold project next month and has projected to produce between 30,000 to 50,000 ounces of gold in 2015 and approximately 120 to 140 ounces in 2016. With gold being one of the largest investments in Guyana and close to the GDP and the economy, Guyana Goldfields Inc. remains on track for gold production in August. A release from the company recently stated that with the project's construction being 85% complete, the focus is now being placed on operational readiness, training, and commissioning. The company added that while the commissioning phase will continue in the second quarter of this year, the company will complete the remaining piping, electrical, and surface conveyor construction, which will begin the gravity gold and saprolite production circuits for mid-2015. This would allow for earlier gold production, pre-commercial production, through the processing plant. The company's mining fleet is fully operational and all materials required for construction are on site, with the exception of the river dike and runway expansion.
The number of tongues in Guyana is set to increase with the development of 4 others in outlying regions of the country.
4 other tongues are to be added to the complement of the existing 6 tongues. The formation of these will fall under the purview of the newly installed Minister of Communities, Ronald Balkan. Mabruma Region 1, Bartica Region 7, Maja Region 8, and Letem in Region 9, which are the main administrative hubs in these areas, are to become tongues.
It's not only about sanitation issues, but banking services, other governmental services such as passport, driver's license, land titling, much more comprehensive set of government services. Whereby residents in those communities would not have to face the additional hardship, whether they are in the north in Mabruma or in the south in Letem, to have to come all the way to Georgetown to transact, what ought to be routine governmental services.
Minister Balkan said the mechanism to ensure these districts become tongues are to be put in place quickly. He's optimistic that by Independence 2016, Guyana will have these 4 new tongues in operation with their own democratically elected mayors and councillors. Guyana's 6 existing tongues are Georgetown, the capital, New Amsterdam, Rose Hall, and Carriverton in Region 6, and Regina Region 2, and Linden in Region 10.
And with those features, we have come to the end of this edition of Weekly Digest. But before we go, here's a repeat of the highlights. 4 new tongues are to be established. Sugar industry to get assistance from Cuban government. Main health institution in Region 3 to be upgraded. And education system to see major overhaul. Please note that Weekly Digest and other government information can be found on our website www.gina.gov.gy, or you can send us your comments and suggestions at ginagovgy@gmail.com. You can also read our newspaper, The Guyanese, online at theguyanese.gy. Join us again next week as we highlight more of the government's programs and policies that are aimed at enhancing the lives of citizens. I am Shanta Goberdan, wishing you a safe and productive week ahead. Goodbye.